Alright, so I've been watching some collection videos on YouTube, people showing their CD collections, and I thought, that's badass, I want to do one of my own. So I'm taking some time out today to pull out my box of shit and seeing what I have. Fortunately, after pulling it out, I realized how shitty my collection is and how absolutely disappointed I am in what I own. My only saving grace is that my electronic collection far surpasses my actual hard copy collection, but that should change, and I'd like to make that change. Now, I kind of split up my collection between two categories because I started to notice it as I pulled out all my CDs that I had a shit ton of my CDs from high school when I was still in like hard rock, and then my new collection of metal bands, real metal bands. So I'm gonna just blast through these hard rock ones just to show what I have, and really I just threw them in a pile over here, so there's no real particular order. So yeah, let's just run through them. I'm not gonna say much about them. I got Static X's Shadow Zone. An interesting one out there for you, Enigma. This is actually a hand-me-down. Cool CD. I don't know. Has some interesting parts to it. I got Tool. Got Lateralis. Cool album. Enema. Undertow. And Salival, I think it's called. I always liked Tool. I was always a big fan of Maynard James Keenan. I did a lot of singing along with him back in high school and riding in the car. Just sing along and shit. Ozzy's live album with Randy Rhoads, No More Tears, all I got from that. Perfect Circle, 13 Step, Melody Knowles. Again, Maynard James Keenan, that's kind of why I like these guys, just I'm a fan of him, or I was a fan of him. I guess I still am a fan of him. Linkin Park's, what is it called? Hybrid Theory. If I'm going to go on any album from Linkin Park, I'm glad it's at least that one, but that's all I have to really say about that. Godsmack. First album was pretty cool. I think Voodoo sucks. I don't know why that song is popular. But some other good tracks, whatever, Moon Baby. I think the best album, Awake. And then I have Faceless. And yeah, these guys kind of fell off the map for me. Everything they put out now I'm not a big fan of, but Disturbed, kind of the same for them. That first album, fucking badass, awesome. And then I bought this next one hoping, oh shit, these guys rock, Frisbee is cool, and it wasn't. And then I give them another shot with 10,000 Fists, and cool songs, and these guys fall off the map as well. So, other than that, no one has heard of these guys, but the band was called Confined, and these guys broke up and formed Scars of Life, which was like a hard rock band from Florida, I believe. And I'm kind of a hypocrite. I always say go out and buy the CDs to the bands you like. And, living under the roof of your parents in high school, I went out and I had all this money for CDs and I bought everything, within sight. So I bought these guys to support them. They were like a nobody. It was like $7 for the CD. And sadly, now I don't buy nearly enough, but you should. Go out and buy the CDs to the bands you like. Support them. So that is the hard rock section. I don't want to spend too much time on those. Not much to say about those. So let's move in to the real shit. First, it's a band that I always find the genre battles fought when these guys are brought up. The band is All That Remains, and as soon as you say All That Remains, people will say metalcore and say how shitty it is and blah blah blah. I find anyways, I seem to read it a lot. But I think these guys are an incredible band. I think they're definitely one of the better metalcore bands out there. Some of Ollie's solos are just fantastic, better than most of the bands I listen to. I mean, he's an amazing guitar player. Phil, great vocalist, has some good guttural growls that you don't hear from other people in metalcore. So they're catchy. They're heavy, and they're interesting to listen to. So I have All That Remains, or obviously Overcome, and For We Are Many. And I can't believe I don't have Fallen Ideas. That's my favorite album from them. For We Are Many is some good hooks, some good solos, Overcome kind of lost me a little bit, but you know, they're still decent tracks. But Fall of Ideals is by far their best album, if you ask me. So pick it up. Next, we have Amorphous. I only have 2 of their CDs, although I have more on MP3. And I have I think their newest one, Skyforger. Actually, there might be one more that's come out since this, maybe even 2. I don't know. I might sound like I know what I'm talking about. But this has the new vocalist. It took me a while to grow into the guy, but he's definitely, I've definitely come around to him. And then I have Tuanila, which is definitely a good album. If you like Amorphous, you probably like this album, I would think, anyways. But these guys have undergone such a huge change from Isthmus, Korean Isthmus or something, or 10,000 Lakes, I think, was another early one. I mean, you compare that album to like Skyforger, it's just like night and day. So it's kind of cool. I wish I had more from these guys, just because they have such great progression in their sound. But yeah. Another band that I hear labeled as metalcore, As They Lay Dying. You know, these guys are good. That's all I'll say about that. You know, they don't have tons of solos or. I don't know, they seem to stick to a formula, but I mean, it works for them. I hear it in all their albums. It's kind of the same formula, but it's good. And these guys are incredible live. I've seen them live, like Glue, Between the Bird and Me. I remember the other people that played, but they blew them out of the water. They were awesome live. So for that, good stuff. I have no B's, but I do have C's. I got Children of Bodom here. These are probably one of the first like real metal bands I got into, and you know, Lexi's guitar work is incredible. There's other like similar bands out there like Northern and Count Mall. You know, I've always been a fan of Bodom. So this one is Follow the Reaper. Probably my favorite album, although there's some other good ones. Hatebreeder and Hate Crew Death Roll are both real good. But I mean, this one, like Kissing the Shadows solo, Every Time I Die, and Children of Decadence, I just love those tracks. So that's that. On to D's. Here's a band that I wish I had more of. I have Character and Damage Done on MP3, as well as We Are the Void, the actual hard copy. This one actually came with a DVD that showed the making of the album, which I thought was really cool. I actually surprisingly watched it. Some of the other ones I have lying around, I don't even think I've watched the DVDs, which is a shame. I paid for them, but I haven't. But this one was good. I watched it and I enjoyed it, and I like this album. It's an awesome album. But I need to pick up more from these guys. Like Fiction, I heard was really good. I've heard tracks off of it. In fact, I have that one on MP3. But yeah, these guys. I mean, if you like Dark Tranquillity, they've got kind of a similar formula too, but they've just got great guitar hooks. I love their synthesizers and their keyboards. That's kind of one of the things that makes them stand out to me. So, those guys. Next, Demon Hunter. Another band that I'm pissed I don't have more from, because these guys have caught on to me a lot in the past couple of years. The one I have is True Defiance, which if I had any of them, I'm glad it's at least this one. Because it's an awesome album. I love every song on this album. And if you've never heard Demon Hunter, this is one of the few bands where I'd say like their latest release is not a band to hear for the first time. But I really want to pick up Storm the Gates of Hell. I think it's my next favorite one. Great tracks in that. You know, they've got a great heaviness to them sometimes, but they also have a lot of melody. Clean vocals are great. Yeah, they're just all around good group. And the lyrics are cool too. They're always good to read. So check them out if you've not heard them. Next, we have a band, Elevati. Again, I have their latest release, which is the same, I think, for the past 3 bands we have here. Helvetius. I love the way the album is put together, the way it's kind of like a story. It starts out with the narration and it just slams into the actual track Helvetius. That's awesome. I love the way they did that, and it really kind of keeps you into the album. But they lost me a little bit, through the middle of the album. And there's really no tracks on here that I would say are their best. They have a really good spotlight for the women in the group. Rosa Vicona. and Elegia. They're really cool tracks. They highlight the female vocals pretty well. Personally, if you've never heard Alphaity and you're into folk metal, or you might be into folk metal, or you have no idea and you want to hear if you're into folk metal, check out like Everything Remains That Never Was or Slarnia. I think those are stronger albums. They got better tracks on it. Because this one doesn't have anything like Primordial Death or Primordial Breath, Inesmona, Thousandfold, Everything Remains That Never Was. All those tracks are just awesome for you guys. Yeah. Moving on, we have Fear Factory. These guys were one of the first heavy people I listened to. I first started out listening to some of these other bands we'll get to, but these were the first guys that came over to like the heavy stuff, and they're just basically in your face, industrial metal, just blast beat, bass or blast beat kick drums. Just all just there's not a lot to them, but there's a lot of aggression here. And there are some tracks where Burton C. Bell actually puts out some melodies in his vocals, and those definitely make him stand apart from just screaming the whole time or yelling the whole time. So yeah, I got Demanufactured, Obsolete. One of these is my favorite album. I don't know which one. Digimortal and Archetype. And yeah, like I said, the straight in your face aggression. If you like that, check them out. They've been around forever. I'm sure you've heard of them. If you haven't, then you probably never will. The next band I could have put in my hard rock collection, it's Flaw. And the reason I made them stand out is I did want to say the reason these guys stuck with me is I really was a big fan of Chris Bolts. I did a lot of my vocal modeling after him. I sang along to him a lot. I kind of developed my voice singing along to him. And I think he's outstanding vocalist. And it's a shame Flaw no longer exists. At least I don't think they do. I thought they disbanded. Because there's a lot of promise for him. I mean, there's nothing extraordinary about the music. It's just standard mainstream hard rock. But his vocals, I think, make him stand apart. So I actually only have Endangered Species. It's a cool album, but really Through the Eyes, which I do have a burned copy of. Through the Eyes. Probably is definitely the better album. Not probably. Good tracks on that one. Next, moving to Eyes, and of course, the Eyes. We got this band here, In Flames. Start off with their live DVD, Used and Abused. Awesome. I love this DVD. I think all the live tracks are outstanding. They give you a couple different venues. If you like In Flames and you haven't heard this, pick it up. It's good. You'll enjoy it, I'm sure. As for the albums, I don't have Lunar Strain. If I could pick it up, I would, but I can't find it in the store, so I gotta go online and pick it up somewhere. So my collection starts off with Subterranean. Cool album. Just a Race. Awesome album. I love that one. I'm all out of order. Horrorful. Getting closer to the style that I really love these guys. I think my favorite album is probably the next one, Colony. But it's close between Colony and Clayman. Again, if you know In Flames, you know these albums. So I'm sure you have your own opinion on Clayman. But yeah, Colony or Clayman, probably one of my favorite. Then you move on to Reroute, which is kind of the transition album a lot of people consider. I still love Reroute. Still got a lot of good hooks, but still the aggression that In Flames had. And the melody, they were melodic metal, and that's melodic death metal, and I think they still carry it pretty well on that album. Oh yeah. Tokyo Showdown live CD. Personally, it's okay. I don't listen to it often because I'm gonna listen to it live. That DVD is where it's at. Okay, so after Reroute, we have Soundtrack. I love this album. I know a lot of people shit on this album, but I don't know. There's something about the tracks. I like the production of it too. It's a little more it's definitely transitioned into some of the newer style, but there's just something about it. Something about the album I like. After that, we have Come Clarity, which I know a lot of people kind of hold as one of the better of the newer albums, but I don't know, it's got some good tracks. I like the album, I like everything In Flames does, but honestly, I think I like Soundtrack better. I don't know, hate me for it. Then we move on to A Sense of Purpose. And what do I want to say about this? I try not to get in the whole, new stuff, old stuff. I will use it as a reference. I will say new stuff means old stuff, but I don't want to say, oh, the new stuff sucks compared to the old stuff. So if you listen to this with no idea who In Flames is and just listen to it as a metal album, it's a good album. When you compare it to their whole catalog, it's by far not one of the better ones, but when you just listen to it for what it is, I like it. It's a good album. And then you have the newest one, Sounds of a Playground Fading. Again, I like this album. I think it is one of the better ones in a while. I still like Soundtrack better than it, but it's good. I don't know what else to say about that. It's I like everything In Flames does, so. Hush. Next we have Mutiny Within. I just went out of order. I realized right when I put this one in front of the camera, but I'm going to talk about it now that I got it. Great album. Quiet. These guys had a lot of promise. Unfortunately, the music business sucks, and these guys weren't able to make it. They were signed to Roadrunner, and they made it one album, and they had so much promise. Great guitars. The vocalist is incredible. You can see some of his things on YouTube. Chris, I don't remember his last name, but he used to sing opera, I think. Amazing voice, and a good scream. I wish he would have screamed more on this album. There's a lot of clean vocals, but the guitar harmonies and the way everything blends together is really cool. So if you like just a melodic metal album, check this one out. So yeah, I skipped. Oh, we got to go to the band that was kind of at my roots. Not the original, but the second. It's Megadeth. I got everything from Killing Is My Business all the way up to, we'll get there. Killing, Peace Sells, So Far So Good, So What, Rust in Peace. Just one of the albums a lot of people consider their best. I would agree. Every track on this album I like. Countdown to Extinction, great album. Euthanasia, great album. Hidden Treasures, some cool stuff. What is this called? Cryptic Writings, that's right. Weird album. It's kind of, they tried something a little bit different with it. Some cool tracks, but it's kind of like the Black Album of Metallica, I would say. It's kind of that crossing album between old style and new style, I would say. Risk. I don't know. They were taking a risk, as they said on the making, which, again, this is another one. I actually watched the video portion of it. And yeah, they were taking a risk, alright. That's all I'll say about that. Capital Punishments, just the greatest hits, pretty much. And then The World Needs a Hero. I like this album. After this, though, they kind of fell off the earth for me. I just couldn't get into everything they're doing, except for Endgame was a good album. I like that one. But everything else, it's just, I don't know. At that point, I was already into some of these other metal albums, so kind of lost interest. Oh man, now these guys are where it all started, and you're gonna know who they are. Everybody knows who they are, even if you don't even like music, you know who these people are. It's Metallica, and they're the whole reason I do anything with music. I didn't even own a radio. I didn't listen to music. I didn't do anything music related until these guys came around, for me anyways. And the amount of shit I own from them is just ridiculous. So we'll go through it quickly here. Parched on the top. So yeah, we got find it all this next I got every album and even ridiculous shit that we get to. Kill 'Em All, Ride the Lightning. I didn't organize this very well. Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets. I'm not going to talk much about each album because, you know these guys, and if you don't like them, you don't like them. You already have your opinion already. Just as wrong. There's no point in me trying to tell you what they're like. I'm sure you know already. Black Album. Load. Semen cover. Reload. Garage Inc., the Reloaded one, not the original. That's one thing I don't have. I'm ashamed I don't have it, but I don't. S&M, Saint Anger even. I know everyone's got an opinion on that album. So, Death Magnetic. And then I get to just all the crazy shit, man. I was so obsessed with these guys. I bought the most ridiculous things from them. I have the Blackest album, which are like electronica remixes that people did of their songs. It's not even Metallica, but I bought it. Overload, kind of same thing. Just random bands covering them in weird ways. The Memory Remain, the Unforgiven 2 single. Metallica era, man. This wasn't even Metallica. I just bought this shit because Metallica covered these guys. So, I even had this weird ass, The Memory Remains. All it is just a techno remix of From the Bell Tolls, and then the song Memory Remains, which I already have on the other album. So basically one song I bought this thing for. Of course, Binge and Purge. The Sad But True single, which actually one's good. It has a cool track, cool version of Nothing Else Matters. And then the Mama Said single. It's weird as shit. I bought so much things from them, but yeah, these guys always have a place in my collection. I got respect for them. They're the whole reason I listen to music, so it is what it is on that. Alright, M's aside. That was exhausting on the M, so let's go to O's. Opeth. I own all of their No, I shouldn't say that. I own most of their CDs on MP3. And actually, the one I own is one of my least favorite ones. Ironically, it's Orchid. Really cool. I guess you consider them progressive death metal, progressive metal. I'm not horrible with trying to label genres, but great. I mean, I love this band. They've got just such an interesting way. Nobody really sounds like them, if you ask me. And Michael's clean vocals are incredible. His growls are incredible. Just the way they can throw a song together is just unparalleled by anybody. But check out some of the newer stuff. If you've never heard Opeth, I think some of the newer albums, or even Blackwater Park and My Arms, My Hearse, Ghost of Perdition, I think is the name of the album. Something like that. Check them out. Cool band. Next I have Pantera. It's kind of like Fear Factory. These guys were one of the first transition groups from like Metallica and Megadeth into In Flames. These guys were like the stepping stone. This one I had my least favorite album from them is Reinventing the Steel. Great Southern Trendkill is awesome. Far Beyond Driven is awesome. Vulgar Display. This one's alright, but it's, again, these are just kind of like in your face metal. But these guys, they also have some melodies. They have some softer songs on each album. And Dimebag's solos are incredible, so they're well-rounded. Everything else is terrible. I don't know what I'm still talking about. P.S. We get into... And that reminds me, I'm ashamed I don't have any of my favorite band, which is Disharmonium Mundi. They don't have anything in stores. You have to go on the website. I've been on the website. I've been all the way to the checkout screen, and I've just never done it. So I need to buy their shit. I'm a hypocrite. So all you people out there go through what buying your albums like me, do it, because you need to. But yeah, so moving on. Another one of my favorite albums, I say it so much, I didn't find Metallica or whatever. Another band that I love, I'm not going to even say they're my favorite, Scar Symmetry. The Unseen Empire and Dark Matter Dimensions, both with the newer vocalist. They don't touch Christian Elvation. If you ask me, he's my favorite vocalist. It's just, when you hear Christian. And they do great. If you don't try to compare them, these albums are really good. I love both of them, but when you get to albums like Holographic Universe, which is probably my favorite album of all time, every track on here I think is awesome. These guys have amazing guitars. Per Nilsson, who his name is. Just incredible guitar player. The solos are amazing. Just the way they throw songs together. And when you throw Christian Elvation on top of that, you just have an all-star cast, I'll say. So check these guys out if you haven't heard them. Amazing. Sever. This is actually EP for my college band. It's in the collection, so I might as well pitch it. Sever. Amidst the Ashes. That's all I'm going to say about that. Next, we move to Soilwork. Another one of my favorite bands. Kind of another all-star cast. You got Bjorn on vocals, you have Dirk Van Buren, I believe. Drumming, just one of the best drummers I think out there. Peter Wickers, when he's with the band, is great. When he's not, they still manage to hold their own. But I have Steel Bath Suicide. It's a little more aggressive, not quite as dynamic as some of the other albums. Shit, I'm all over the place. Predator's Portrait. Great album. It starts to transition into the more dynamic approach that they have, and then Natural Born Chaos where they start to shine through. Great album. Probably one of the first I would recommend checking out. Predator's Portrait is good too, but I think you've never heard them. Check this out. Or I'm gonna skip ahead here. Stabbing the Drama. I love this album. It's not, I don't know, it's just damn catchy. That's why it's so good. So many good hooks in this album. You know, Natural Born Chaos has the whole package, but this one just sticks in your head. So I think both these albums are ones to check out if you want to move forward. But backwards to figure number 5. This is kind of their interesting album. It feels like a lot of these bands that are around for a while always put out an album where they just try to experiment, and I feel like this is theirs. But still a great album by all means. It's just a different approach. It seems like they take on this one. And then they go to they lose Peter Wickers, who was the primary guitarist, and they went to Sworn to a Great Divide. And I think the production on this album absolutely blows. I think the album would be a lot better if it was produced better. But the tracks are what they are. I mean, they're good. There's nothing bad about them, I don't think. But not one of the stronger albums, I think. And then Panic Broadcast, Peter Wickers comes back, and you hear it. Much more dynamic. The solos are back. Production's back. And an all-around good album. So I'm looking forward to the new one they're coming out with. I think it's this year or early next year. So yeah, if you haven't heard Soilwork, definitely check them out. I think you'll be impressed. And sadly, that is, whoops, I have another pitch. Like I said, I have my collection, This Cold Life, which is my collab album with Chef from YouTube. People probably know from his Inflames covers. So this is our debut album we put out at Son of the Fallen. We're actually working on our second one now. It's my video, I can do what I want. So yeah, that's part of the collection as well. And that about wraps it up. I'm disappointed in my collection, as I stated. My MP3 collection is far larger, and unfortunately, I don't even listen to CDs that much anymore just because music dominated. But I still like to have this CD. I like to support the band, and I like to have a collection. And unfortunately, my collection sucks. That's what we're going to do today, and we'll leave that. So,